going to attempt to make what I think I'm going to call an earring caddy. I don't know about any of you, but I love earrings. I have tons of earrings, but I have nowhere to really put them. I had a stand once, but it was just too much of a hassle. So I thought maybe I could try and make something that would make it a little bit more accessible and to where I could actually see them a little bit better. And I figured I might as well film it and see if it works out. That'd be great. And if not, maybe it'll be funny in the process. Okay, so the products you're going to need for this craft is a little decorative plate picture frame stand thing, a little wooden box, piece of styrofoam, acrylic paints, you can just do one color or multiple, paintbrushes, piece of fabric, hot glue gun, and some hot glue. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to paint the inside black so I don't have to worry about it being wet while I'm painting the outside or possibly messing up the outside when I'm trying to get the inside. You don't have to paint the inside, I just am just so that it looks more solid and uniform. Now that we've got the inside painted, we want to let that dry a little bit before we start working on the outside so we don't get our hands all messy and gross. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and size up this piece of styrofoam to fit inside of the box. If you can find a piece that will fit inside this, or if you find a box that will fit a piece of styrofoam, I just couldn't find one, so I'm going to have to cut it. You could use that green styrofoam that people use for floral arrangements, but I don't really like that because it tends to sort of disintegrate after a while. It would probably work better if you actually used a measuring tape or knew the actual measurements. I'm too lazy, so I'm just kind of winging it. I put a little black dot on a piece of the wood and sort of sized it from there. So I'm going to try and use a butter knife to cut it. You can get styrofoam cutting tools, but I didn't feel like spending the money. Okay, so now that I've got it cut, I'm going to finish waiting for the inside paint to dry, and then I'll come back in maybe 20 minutes to finish painting the outside and make sure I have this fitted correctly. Welcome back, everyone. The inside is all dry. While I was waiting for it to dry, I went ahead and painted this top section also, so that once I had this all painted, I could just set it down to dry without having to worry about this still needing painted. And once that dried, I made sure that this fit in here properly. I found that if you don't get it perfect the first time, you can use the same butter knife to sort of saw and shave off the sides a little bit at a time. You don't want it to be super snug in there because you're still going to put fabric around it, and so that'll add a little bit more thickness to it. But I think it's okay for now, so I'm going to go ahead and paint the outside. I'm just going to start with a black base, and then I might use the blue and green paint like I had for some details. I'm not extremely experienced with doing crafts like this. I just kind of try and wing it, and hopefully it'll turn out. Usually everything for me ends in complete disaster, but at least I try. I have found though that when you're using this kind of paint, if you do one really thin layer, it dries quickly, so you can do another layer so it's actually solid instead of just looking like wood grain, which is fine, but I want a solid one color coat. So I'm just going to do a thin coat now, and hopefully it'll dry quickly. I hate when crafts take like 2 or 3 days just because you have to wait for glue or paint to dry. Like if I have it set in my mind that I want to do something, I want to do it and be done with it. I don't want to wait around. Okay, so that's one layer on the outside all dry. I'm going to set it to the side to, not all dry, I'm sorry. One layer on the outside completely painted. I'm going to set it aside so that it can dry. And I was thinking for this, I want to cut out a little square so I can have sort of a little pocket to put all of my earring backs so that they'll all be together when I choose my earrings. So I think I'm just going to try to cut out a small square. This is still fitting a little small, so I'm just going to shave it a little bit more because I want there to be just a little bit of wiggle room, so it's not impossible for me to get it in once I have the fabric around it. Now that I think I sort of have this cut to my liking, not really, I'm going to get my fabric out. Okay, now that I think I've got this cut to my liking, it's obviously not perfect, but it's as good as it's going to get as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to get my fabric out and just sort of wrap it around and fit it. Just a little more. Hopefully I don't kill myself in the process. That hurts so bad, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So this is all glued up, fabriced. Hopefully it works out. I'm going to set this aside and put my second coat on the outside of my box. Say though, what I initially meant to get was just the styrofoam and then find thin pieces of wood that I could just nail together to sort of make a box. But the only pieces of wood I could find were pretty thick and or would have had to be sawed to fit. I don't own a saw. And then I almost got one of those, like, it almost sort of looks like a crate that you would get fruit in, but they came in all different sizes. So I almost got one of those, but that would have been way too huge. And then at the last second when I was about to give up, I found these little short ones, which is actually exactly what I was going to try and make anyway, on the very bottom rack. And so I'm so excited that I found it, because this would have taken so much longer if I had to cut wood down to size and all that hullabaloo. Okay. So now before we can do anything else, any decorating, any fitting, anything, we're going to have to wait for this outside coat to dry, and then I'll come back in about 20 or 30 minutes. Hopefully it'll be dry and I can maybe put some fun accents using the other paints. Okay, so the paint on the outside is all dry. I stuffed my little styrofoam fabric-y pad in. I didn't shade it down enough. So then when I put the fabric on and then tried to stuff it in, it was really tight. But it is a good snug fit. This sucker's not coming out. Looks kind of messy, but again, only I'm gonna see it, so I'm not too concerned. I thought it would be really cool. Well, for me, I think it'd be really cute if I put like blue and green circles to kind of counter the chevron pattern. So I'm gonna try to do that. Now, you can just stop here and have it like this, but I just want to do just a little more, see how it goes. And just eyeball it, so, you know, it'll probably be a disaster. Because I'm shaky on account of all of the caffeine that I consume, so I never have a steady hand. I'm a mess. Alright, one side done. I'm going to let this dry. Can you see the border? Probably doesn't affect anything, but I kind of like it. So while I let this dry, I'm going to go get my earrings and start pricking them in, and then I'll come back with the final product. Ta-da! Finished product. I've got all my earrings in with the little pocket for my earring backs. You can see it's in the stand. Pretty, actually, somehow perfectly. It's a perfect fit. I don't understand it. This is the side. You can see the top. I like how it turned out. It's going to be perfect to just like see what kind of earrings I want for the day. Grab them, grab a couple backs, and get on my way. So I hope you guys liked it. I had a lot of fun making this. I might even make another one so the earrings aren't so cluttered. It didn't cost a lot to make. It was pretty easy. It took a little time because I had to wait for the paint to dry, but I mean, I guess that's what you get when you do crafts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you try it at home. I'd love to see pictures if you do. and I'll see you next time.